now tuned in to the Drawing Board Podcast, a powerful, thought-provoking discussion where we talk about family, relationships, ministry, community, and career. Let's see what exciting guests we have on our show today. Great evening, family. This is Andre Ebron, the founder and the host of the Drawing Board Podcast, where we talk about family, relationships, ministry, community, and career. I promise you, like every single podcast we have, to provide you quality information with quality people. And tonight is no different. I have one of my fellow deans here from Detroit Public Schools Community District, but he's done some awesome things within the city of Detroit, and he's continuing to transform the lives of young men across the nation, coming from Detroit, but they're headed out all over the world impacting lives. I'd like to welcome to the show my brother Tucson Antoine Knight. Welcome to the show, man.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, absolutely, man. So tonight, man, I'm hearing I've seen the wrap on the van.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all of the publicity that the work that you're doing regarding empowering Black and brown young men, and just the work that you're doing that I'm aware of inside of DPS. But man, Caught Up.
Yes.
Your youth mentoring organization, your nonprofit within the city of Detroit. Yes. Hey, man, you're making national, international news, brother.
Yeah, it's been a blessing. Like, I was just thinking to myself, like, lately, like, wow, how this has completely blown up within, like, 3 years. I never imagined it to be so, like, big and getting all the attention that it's, getting these days. So it's a blessing for sure.
Yes, sir. So talk to me, man. Like, take me to that moment where you get inspired and you start drafting mission and vision statements, where that desire, where that conviction comes from on why you felt the need to now insert yourself into the lives of these young men within the city.
No, for sure. I think that it started for me growing up. Like, I got kicked out of 13 different schools. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got kicked out of 13 different schools, and I was like this frustrated, angry young man growing up. And then I went to Oakwood University, which is in Alabama.
Right.
And I remember, like, for the first time I saw people that looked just like me, that took their education serious, that was that cared about each other. And it was just like, it kind of blew my mind, And at Oakwood, they kind of instilled in you, like, you enter to learn, but you depart to serve. So your whole life should be based off service. And so when I left, I always thought about, like, how can I give back to a city that I felt like, needed it the most. And so a lot of my friends were like, hey, because I'm very good at, like, networking and connecting with people. So I could have went to anywhere. I could have went to D.C.
Right.
I have a few job offers out there, and then I could have stayed where I was. But I always was like, I wanted to go back to Detroit. Without a job, I came back to Detroit. And it was just amazing to see, like, how many people, like that needed help, especially our young people. And so I felt the need to start a program, and I started Caught Up. And it's been a blessing ever since.
So, man, listen, so from troubled youth to having political aspirations, and then now serving your community as a strong mentor in the life of these young men.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I see so many pictures of you,
Yeah.
and I haven't been out there, man, but I just imagine these young men might be giving you buckets on the court. I don't know. I would have to ask them, but, But I've been able to, in the last 2 years, man, just from what you post online, watch the progress from, getting transportation for the young men, watching the progress with you now having a brick and mortar place where they can come, like, man.
It's big. Yeah, so first off, let me address the getting buckets piece,
Okay, getting buckets, yes.
Yeah, so, I haven't played a lot of basketball, but I need to get back at it. But, they'll always tell you that I cheat.
Okay.
Yeah, so first I pick my own team.
Right.
And then when I pick my own team, I kind of control the clock. So, I might get a little cheating in every now and then. I tell them, life isn't fair. So most of the time I'm on the court, I win.
Right.
But just think about the transformation, like, and what I saw. I remember I was looking at a picture the other day. It was like of our New Year's party at we always do like this New Year's event to keep kids off the street on New Year's, keep them from, like, everybody think that you have to do something dumb for, like, an event like that. Like, so you got to drink, you got to get high. And so, like, our goal has been, like, for the last 4 years is to make sure that kids do not go out. So it's crazy, before this year, I had it at my house. And it was like, I was looking at the picture, I was like, it's amazing how this program has grown. Like, I can't even fit them in my house anymore. And they like absolutely love coming and inviting each other. And that's one of the things I always tell people about our program is that we don't even do much advertisement, you know.
Right.
Most young men that come into our program, they are invited by others. They don't like, you know, it's not that I'm out there recruiting kids, you know, and which it's so many kids out there, but they are recruited by their friends like, hey, this is a great program, you should come to it. And that is a blessing in itself because, you know, people, their peers, they listen to each other and seeing how the program has grown. I'm telling you, like, there's a story behind each and everything. It's a story behind the center that we have now. You know, the story of how we all started. It's truly a blessing. I would love to go into it. So
Yeah, absolutely. So let's
yeah,
talk about it. One thing that I wanted to get to
yeah,
regarding caught up that I see is for me the demarcating difference. It is the conviction of the leader.
yeah,
Right. So
yeah,
so when
that's it.
when I look at you, the integrity that you walk in, and really the honesty and the transparency.
Yeah.
I haven't been to any other sessions,
Yeah.
but just from looking, I said, "Oh no, he's real with these boys."
Yeah, for sure.
I said,
Wow.
yeah, and so because when I look at
Yeah.
when you've been doing it for a
Exactly,
while,
you
you
know.
can look at the picture and be like, he made the kid smile. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
right? Or
Exactly,
when you
yeah.
can see that it's genuine and from the
Yeah.
heart, right? So like that's why I was interested, man. Talk to me. So tell me the stories behind
Yeah.
like the center.
Exactly. Well, I think like just address what you're saying. Like one thing I tell people, you know, it's about being consistent. Honestly, a lot of people are like, man, I don't know if I can mentor. I don't come from where they come from. You know, I'm like, no, it's just really about being consistent in their lives, and that's what that's what you see. Like they know me. And they know that I care about them, and that not only do I care about them, that I'm going to hold them accountable, and that we have expectations for them. You know, and that's a huge thing. Like it's amazing. Like because they want to be held accountable. A lot of young men are not being held accountable these days. They want to be held accountable. They want somebody checking on them. I remember I went up to the school to check on like 4 or 5 kids, and for the report card, and other kids come up to me like, "Hey, can you check on mine too? Can you check and see?" I'm like, "Wow, that's crazy," you know.
Right.
So it's truly a blessing. And what I like to share is that like the way Caught Up started was even like it was just like seeing we got up with some kids. I was working at the mayor's office at the time. And I noticed that I was meeting so many people, and I'm like, it's so many kids that should be connected to these individuals. So I went back to a place where I worked was at a juvenile center. And I
Okay.
remember that when I worked at the juvenile center, one of the main problems was that when people got out, when these kids got out, that they were getting into so much more trouble. Like you would see them on the 11 o'clock news as the main story. They either went back to prison. It was just something crazy. And I was like, so I went to the owner and I was like, hey, I want to start a program. And what do you think about this program? And it's about transitioning them back into the community. So that last 8 weeks, we go in and we help them transition back to the community. So we teach them life skills. We teach them how to get a job. We teach them how to dress, just different things like that. And it was like, let me tell you, it was a kid that was interning with me. He's at Harvard Medical School now. But,
Excellent.
Yeah, I met him.
Excellent.
Yeah, I met him with the
Wait,
man.
hold
He
on,
was
man.
my
Listen,
intern.
this deserves a little.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, yeah.
I wanted because I met him. He was an intern. I was just like, I saw like how he was so dedicated. And when I tell you, like, he helped us write the program, he helped us in the meetings and things like that. It was just wonderful. And then he got all his friends from U of M to kind of help build up the program. So without them, I wouldn't even be able to have like the program I have now. You know, all the things that you see written, that was written like years ago by these kids. It's just like, wow, man, it was a blessing. And so all of them went to U of M. One of them he got a job at the Chicago Federal Reserve, you know, and they donate major amount of money to the program because of so much, like how much they love it. So having those like young men from U of M helping us build up the program was a wonderful story. And I really want to, one day I really hope to like show them how much they meant to the program because it was such a blessing to have them, you know. So that's like one story I could tell you.
Right. Listen, so here's the thing. What I'm sitting here thinking, and I always have a challenge for my guest on the show,
Oh, yeah, for
right?
sure.
So, and this may be something, man, years down the line or something that you all may do, is I would love to see like the Caught Up story
Yeah.
on like, the big screen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
what I love about what you shared, which I didn't know,
Yeah.
is that a lot of the substance of the program was generated by the youth or the young
Exactly.
men that
Yeah.
you would end up serving.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
they know exactly what they need. They know exactly what they're looking for. And then we found someone who was able to articulate
Exactly.
it in a way that it could minister to those who you would serve.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
here's my shout out. I always throw out nuggets from
Yeah.
what we've learned so far from your
Yeah,
story.
for sure.
Is that like even though you see somebody who may come from a troubled past, like their transformation is one decision away.
Exactly.
And all they need is the right environment. You went to Oakwood and you went in to learn,
Exactly.
but you departed serving. And
Exactly,
then
yeah.
because you wanted to start a program, you saw a need.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
literally a need. Like, okay, you know what? I'm seeing that they begin to recidivate or they go or they escalate in the crimes that they commit when they leave because they don't have the skills to transition properly.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then you built a transitional program centered around the youth that you would serve.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, that's good. So now
blessing.
all of those people who are thinking about starting programs, listen very carefully. As an adult, you can get a whole board together, and because you are successful and your oratorical skills, your writing skills are awesome, you can come up with a 5-year program, and it won't get off the ground because it doesn't have student voice or it doesn't have the youth voice incorporated. So yeah, man, I challenge you now, and I can't wait till it happens, man. The caught up story,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Right, and then we got to figure out who's gonna play you.
Exactly.
All right,
Right?
because we got to
Yeah.
take it from how
Yeah.
they'll go from flash
Exactly.
scenes where you will be in school,
Yeah.
and then you're coming in and out of these schools,
Exactly.
and then all of a sudden they transition to how they show like the younger ones at different stages that you may have gotten, had to exit the schools.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they flash to your first day at Oakwood, right?
Yeah.
And then like that
Which
little
was-
transition, and then have you graduating. Like I would love to see. Like in my mind, I'm envisioning like you have these offers to these political aspirations.
Yeah.
DC is a huge hub for that. Other places you had access, but because of your conviction to the city of Detroit, and I keep using conviction for a reason,
I
because
hear
you can't do this work in the magnitude that you're doing
Exactly.
it if it's not in here.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Especially with what we experience, because a lot of people they see all the great things that happen, some of the stories, but behind the scenes it is rough dealing with some of the situations that they come from. I remember sitting in court with a kid, that I tried to save so many different times, and he ended up getting 30 years in prison. I remember sitting through the entire court case, and I was like, wow, man, I know this kid has so much potential. I wanted to take him down to Oakwood, but it's just like, wow, he's gone. And then I always tell people, the story that really affects me the most, even to this day, getting a call that one of my kids that got killed at Oakwood,
Yeah.
So taking a group of 20 kids down to Oakwood, realizing that some of them still wasn't as focused as they needed to be. But this kid, he was just awesome. He was a wonderful kid. He was a wonderful speaker. I could see him I saw him coming back and doing the same thing I was doing because he had that type of conviction and passion. And one morning you get up and your phone is blowing up and a detective from Huntsville police is calling you, telling you he had got killed. And it kind of, it really shocked me man, is this is it worth it? Because it really took a lot out of me just to experience that, because a lot of these kids, they're like family to me, It's just not I see them, but it's I'm a consistent part of their lives. And so it's kind of hard to kind of go through that. And I tell people, it's not easy. It's not easy. I love the celebrations that we have, but a lot of times, it's a lot of heartbreak trying to save these kids, because they go through so much, on a consistent basis.
Absolutely. So I see you have several programs, man.
Yeah.
And with Project Reentry, we talked about that. Now Saturday Night Live. What is Saturday Night
Yeah, I
Live?
love Saturday Night Live. Saturday
All
Night
right.
Live is one of my favorite programs because, like I tell people, we keep it simple. It's basketball, it's food, and it's life skills. So we get them together for an hour. We talk to them about whatever they might be on their mind, a topic we might come up with, and then we'll let them share. I love having the most important piece I like is that when they can share it themselves, and they can, be honest. And I love when they talk more than me because I hate to do all the talking. So yesterday we talked about MLK, and it was they did most of the talk, which was wonderful,
Right.
And so, but it's a simple program. So we do food. After that, after we do our talking, we go upstairs, we get food, and then they play basketball. And, that's what they love. That's what they care about. And so it's a blessing. I love Saturday Night Live, and we have about 30 kids that come out each day. And we started that program because, again, it's about keeping kids off the streets. So it's like a lot of parties happen on Saturdays. A lot of kids want to go out. They find different things to do. So why not make sure that we have them? And we have them late. Those programs go to about 11 o'clock. Sometimes they'll get home to about 12 o'clock at night. So it's designed that way to keep them from getting in trouble.
Right, and you're a young man yourself.
Exactly.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you to dedicate your
So much
Saturday
time,
night,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Man,
right.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
So that's interesting. What were some of the takeaways that they shared about MLK that you remember?
Well, so the craziest thing is that they got into the debate about MLK and Malcolm X.
Okay.
And so a lot of them, which was kind of surprising to me, they did not like Malcolm X's approach. And they thought it was like, oh, MLK was better because he did the nonviolent approach, and Malcolm X the same approach, it got him killed. So it's kind of like I was like, whoa,
Right.
I wanted to kind of set the record straight. Well, no, the media has kind of like designed Malcolm X to be this crazy person, and I kind of shared them like they both loved their people and wanted to see their people progress. And so we're going to talk about Malcolm X a lot more because I feel like they kind of have a different opinion of him that I think is like kind of skewed. So I want to really help them with that piece. But also, their takeaways about Martin Luther King was that, they understood, we talked about how strategic he was, and we talked how that applied to their lives. Also, you think he wanted somebody just to hit on them, or you wanted his people to get beat? Was like, but there was a mindset behind that, a bigger mindset, and a lot of them started seeing their lives. Like, when you get into it with somebody at your school, that might be a person that don't have anything to lose. So they'll fight you, they'll do this, but you need to be able to have that mindset that something's greater for your life. So it was a good conversation. A lot of them loved it, and took a lot. Kids say he was inspired by it, so it was a blessing.
Man, I think that's awesome that you point out that about Dr. King.
Yeah.
Because I think so very often we get inspired by his story.
Yeah.
We get motivated. Mm-hmm. But to break down that they were able to see how strategic he was and how immobilizing and getting things done.
Yeah.
Because, of course, across really the nation, there were so many celebrations, right?
Yeah.
So everybody still got the goosebumps and the feelings and, listen to the messages that they don't listen to except for during this time.
Yep.
But they don't think about the strategy that he used to mobilize, groups of people.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, did you see the post about Dr. King's approval rating?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of stuff come out. I'm like, that's random. Okay.
Right. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So is that he was willing to work. They think that it was like this huge group just galvanized behind when it was a faithful few that when you paint the picture or you show up at the marches or what have you. But as far as those who were, I'll draw the comparison that were coming and staying with children till on Saturdays until 11 midnight. That was few and far between, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think that's good. So man, talk to me about Project Empower.
Yeah. So Project Empower, it started in the schools and now we have it at the center because we have the center now, but it started at Southeastern. We moved to Mumford, and most of our kids now come from Denby.
Okay.
And so basically, it's a simple program as well. Kids come for tutoring; they can do their schoolwork, and then afterwards, so we'll help them with whatever. So a lot of kids in Detroit public schools, they use iReady. So for our middle school kids, I love that because you can track their assignments. They can't oh, I have no homework. I'm like, all right, good. Let's just pull out iReady then, So I have a lot of our middle school kids come through that as well, and they do iReady. The high school kids, they apply for scholarships. They do their schoolwork. And so we just do that for a few hours, and then at the end, they can play basketball or we give them food. So it's kind of like a similar type program, except we more help them with their academic piece with Project Empower.
Okay. And then, you got college tours, youth retreats, man. So
exactly,
what's up with the youth retreat? When does it happen?
Man.
How does it? Because this sounds like this is like the pinnacle of
And they all are looking forward to it.
Right.
So the youth retreat is actually about 2.5 hours away.
Okay.
So it was like in my mind, in my head, like somebody did a lock-in. I'm like, hey, we should do a lock-in. And then of course it my mind just expands and expands. So I'm like, maybe it should be a retreat. Few hours away, so we take them to this place, a beautiful place called Gold Lake Ministries. And when I tell you, it's a state-of-the-art facility. It's It's the place where they stay, the food. I mean, it's right off the water. It's a beautiful thing. They love it. They love the environment. And so what we do is we do like a 3-day retreat where people come and they talk about different things. For example, this year we're going to have them talk about interactions with police. So what do you do, when you encounter a police officer, and what are your rights, and then we're going to talk about how to start your own business. A lot of people talk about those type of things, and then just about your purpose. Like, what is your purpose? You're here. You're chosen. You just didn't get here by accident. So what's your purpose? You really have a purpose in your life, no matter what everybody else tells you, no matter what everybody else tries to put in front of you, you have a purpose. And so we go up there, man, we chop it up. We have our circles, so we talk about issues. I remember the first time, we had the youth retreat, like a kid just started sharing what he was going through, and it helped everybody share. And it kind of kids were crying. It was like a real safe place and a beautiful moment for us because, like, I've never seen so many kids become so vulnerable in front of their peers like that. So it's a blessing. I love the youth retreat, and they love going. It costs us a lot of money because it's a way, and a lot of our kids can't really afford the price what it is. So we try to raise most of the money to get our kids there. Yeah.
Man, I'm sitting here. It reminds me of that quote by Frederick Douglass that it's easy to raise strong children and repair broken men.
Yeah.
And so, like, that youth retreat, like that investment in those young people's lives, man, I think that's awesome, man. What I love is it's cathartic for them to be around other young men, their peers, and to be vulnerable, right?
Yeah,
so think about what type of husbands, these young men will end up become, because they realize that it is okay for them to express themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, anger, mass fear, inability to communicate properly, like your programs, these retreats, and it's not all, it's not one of those, let's just sit down and talk. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's one of the, it's interactive, it's based upon, and I keep saying this, man, your program is based upon, like, the students' needs.
Exactly.
For
sure.
And I haven't been there for,
but you got to come out, man. I got to come check it out. Yeah, because, we do a lot of stuff, and I think one of the things, like, for me, I know it was like me going to school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there is it's a certain vetting that takes place on my end. So a lot of people, hey, man, can I come out to speak? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I like to vet people because I know how they are.
Right.
So I don't want them falling asleep. I don't want them it doesn't make no sense. So I try to vet people that come out. And, like me, I'm very energetic. I have to be I have to see images and pictures and stuff. So I figure, I know how they are, and they're the same way, and that's why if you talk to any of the young people, they won't tell you it's boring or it was terrible. It's always something good that they get out of the programs, and it's exciting to be able to know what their needs are, and also the right people to kind of address their needs and get to them. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you could lose a lot of credit if you bring somebody in there.
Exactly. Yeah, people don't get that.
They'll be like, "Oh, you brought this guy.
Exactly.
Like, is he connected to you?
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought you was cool.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
so man,
sure.
you take the kids on a college tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things about the program, and that I've noticed to have the most impact is taking them out of their environments, and that's from the youth retreat, and then letting them see college. And I can't tell you so Oakwood does this thing, it's called College Days, where they can stay there for 3 or 4 days, and it's a huge thing. They cater to them, and just seeing how much it changes their lives, knowing man, I can actually go to college. A lot of them don't even see that.
Right.
They see everybody's pushing them to do the trade school now or the community college, and people are pushing them away from the university experience. I'm like, no, it's something different about living on campus, meeting friends, meeting people that's just like you that want something better for themselves. It did a lot for me. I think it'll do a lot for them. And so that's why we love taking them to different colleges, showing them, the different experiences they can have. And they absolutely love it. I remember when we were leaving Oakwood, they're like, wow, we got to go so fast. And we had been down there since Wednesday. We didn't leave till Sunday. Right. And they're like, man, we already got. I'm like, yeah, we've been down here almost a week. So, but it's a blessing because a lot of them don't see that. And when they leave, it's like, man, I could go to college. And that is our biggest thing is making sure that we get our kids to college. And a lot of them, at first, they're I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I'll have the money. But just showing them, yeah, there is ways. Now, if you don't want to do it, you're absolutely against college, that's fine. We will have other avenues for you as well. But don't think that it's something that's just out of your grasp, you can really go to college. I did, and I didn't have the money. I didn't have the grades, but I went to college. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I saw there was a young man going into the 2019-2020 school year, and something happened where his money came a little
Yeah,
short,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
you continued to fight and fight.
yeah. Got
and
to.
you and listen, and you got it done, and then you got him down there. You made sure that he
Exactly.
had what he
Yeah,
needed,
yeah.
and so like that is what I mean when I say like
Yeah.
conviction, like
Man.
like this is your family. This you fight for
Exactly.
these kids,
Yeah.
as if they were your own. Like
Yeah.
you are connected to them.
Exactly.
And I think that's honorable, and I think that's what reciprocity looks like.
Yeah.
Because like I would ask you, man, like who can you name like the people that had like a great impact in your life that was able to help you make those pivots you need to make?
Yeah, I think about a lot of people who had the impact. One of the people is like, I remember when I was at Oakwood, and I wasn't as polished, but I became like a student body president. And there was a lady there, and I was like, when I was a student body president, I mean, I was raising all type of saying, like I was doing crazy stuff, like we were doing walkouts. It was just all type. I was like going to be this militant person, fight administration at all costs.
Right.
And it was a person. She was like the dean of students down there. And she would always talk to me. She would always bring me in her office and go over everything. Like, is this a good decision? And she really helped me make better decisions. And so I remember that person like really had an impact. And then people always ask me like, how do you do this? How do you allow certain things to happen? Like there's like allowing people in your house and stuff like that. Because I remember when I first got over to my neighborhood, people were shot like, yo, man, you got people in your house, they're gonna rob you. They're gonna end up doing this. Like, and there was a lady when I was at Oakwood who not only helped me through college, helped me pay for college, but she allowed me in her home, treated me like I was her son. And that changed my entire life. To this day, I still refer to her as mom. Like, she really looked out for me in ways that like it was like I was like her family. And to this day, like Christmas, I spent with her, and I brought some of my mentees to spend with her. So it's like we're still family to this day. And seeing people like that, her and her husband, who took me in and just helped me out in college. I could go over there anytime I wanted to eat. It was a blessing. And, that really changed. And that's where I kind of get the love that I show people now. Like, somebody did it for me, so that's why I can do it for you.
Yeah, man, that's amazing because I think that's what we need more of, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds very simple, but it really is like the love that you want to see
Exactly.
Multiplied in the lives of others begins with the seed of love that you plant.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
and then that love takes on different forms. So it takes structure, order, discipline,
for sure.
correction, expectations. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
I think that your program is so unique in doing so.
Yeah.
In fact, man, I see now you guys, another one of your mentees just
Yeah.
got national news because he
Yeah.
was celebrating about his full ride.
Exactly,
Right?
yeah.
Okay.
We were so it was a snow day, Saturday, right?
Right.
So we're all out and we're shoveling snow. We're going to different houses. They want we raise money for the program, and also like if we'll give them like some little money, for coming out. So we had about 6 or 7 kids with us, and we're just shoveling snow. And so he stops, and I'm like, I always get mad, like, hey, you guys need to keep working. Like, one of y'all working, y'all not working enough. And then he stops and he gets on the phone. I'm like, man, quit acting like something important going on. And he's like, wait, no, I got the scholarship.
Yeah.
And so like we missed the first reaction. We like falls into the snow when he finds out. Like it's crazy.
Right.
So I was like, I gotta go live.
Yeah.
And so like, hey, tell us what happened. And he had been working so hard for this scholarship. And like I remember telling him like, man, you ain't got a caddy, man. You ain't gotta do that. Like, you're already gonna get it. He was like, nah, man, I wanna do this. I'm telling you, it's a great opportunity for me. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I hear you. And so the week before, he needed a suit. We was able to get him a suit, his first suit. Like, it was just a blessing just to go on the scholarship interview.
Right.
And like Harley's like a hard worker. He's dedicated. And like I just know like it's gonna be great things. I was like, Harley, you're gonna be a millionaire, Just
Right.
remember us when you get
Yeah,
big.
remember caught up.
Exactly. And he's our biggest advocate. Like I tell you, like how kids advertise the program, he goes to the schools, he's recruited a lot of kids, 10 to 15 kids himself.
Wow.
Yeah. So find out about that was just wonderful. They got full ride, room and board, because a lot of these people are saying like, oh, we do free tuition and things like that, but it's not really free, like they use your financial aid. They really give you the bare bones when everything else has been exhausted. This scholarship is like, we pay for everything. You get to keep your financial aid. And so it puts them in a position to be great and to do well. And so I'm excited for him. He's very excited about it, and then like people, it's so funny. People will reach out to me. And I'm like, oh, I don't know who this is. I don't know what the person is. So I wasn't even gonna like talk to him. And then we got on Skype, and I was like, oh, this must be a major thing. Like all these people in the background, all the headsets and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is big. Yeah, we go on TV. We got like 365 places we go on TV, different times. I'm like, wow. And so today I've been getting calls from all over America, Connecticut, California. I'm like, wow, a lot of people have been calling me today. So it's crazy, man.
Congratulations,
it's
man. Congratulations.
God is good, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I continued to hear throughout the interview, man, you kept saying that, this was a blessing, that everything was a blessing, that, what you've been able to do in the lives of these young men was a blessing. Yeah, the fact that when you were at Oakwood, that your mom, or the lady that you affectionately call mom, that her presence and her husband's presence in your life was a blessing. Yeah. Like, talk to me about that, man. Where do you get that root of, you saying that it's a blessing and thanking God? Like, talk to me about that.
Well, for sure. I mean, I growing up, I grew up in Highland Park. And my mom wasn't as, like, she grew up in the church, but she wasn't as spiritual, but my grandmother was the one who kind of, like, always talked to me about God and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I've always been a spiritual. And Oakwood is actually a Christian school.
Okay.
And so everything I think about is, like, giving honor and thanks to God, because I just feel like it's what I prayed for, and it's just like there's an author, her name is Ellen White, and she says highest than your highest imagination, like you can't even imagine what God wants to do in your life. And I'm starting to see that, like, wow, like God really wants to, like, make a difference in our lives. And he has so much for us to do. We just have to accept it. And that's what I felt about, like, the center, because it was so funny. It took me like a year and a half to get the van. So when I got up at our banquet, I was like, hey, we need to get a center. We need a place for our kids to go. I was not expecting that to like another 2 years. A lady called me right after, like, hey, I have some things I want to talk to you about. I think you should really look forward to doing it. And I'm like, about to blow her off again. Like, yeah, I'm not about to. We don't have the money. So we sit down, we talk, and she's like, well, tell me what you want. I was like, well, if we have a room, it would be great, just a room to go to. And she said, well, tell me your wish list. And I was like, well, if you really want to know, we need a kitchen, we need a gym, we need classrooms. And then, so it's like, talking about how God blesses you. She found a place. Not only did she find a place, the place that she found it had more stuff than we ever expected. It had a huge kitchen,
yes.
A movie theater, a boardroom, all this type of stuff that it had. And then, not to only mention it, the people that we're going to rent it from, they gave us half of the rent that we're going to pay for the year.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so
now that is a blessing,
exactly.
right?
I'm
so
like, yo,
so
man.
you end up getting more than what you
Exactly.
asked for, and then they sow a seed into your life to
Exactly.
support the vision.
Exactly. And
Wow.
then we're going to be expanding there even more, because we're going to be getting a computer lab pretty soon. It's just like things is just happening. I'm like, wow, man, this is only God, because I didn't even imagine this type of stuff this year. I really was expecting it to happen, a few years down the line. So.
Oh, man, listen, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And man, I saw you post, you just preach your first message, right?
Yeah, well, no, not my first message. But and I didn't get to preach it because, the weather the week before was terrible, too, on Saturday.
Okay.
So we canceled church. And I go to church on Saturdays. And so then this Saturday it was canceled because of the snow. So actually I'll be doing it this.
So you got a message in waiting.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. It's holding.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm excited about it, but it's coming.
Well,
Saturday, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Hey, continue to spread the good news.
Exactly, yeah, man.
And, man, I guess the truest testament of Christ, man, is your ability to love others.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I love about the scripture, is that it says when you're talking about being able to identify those who are true disciples, he said, you'll know my disciples by their love.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that is what we're looking for. And so this liberates somebody who might be watching and, like, you really want to be a follower of Jesus and you're just like, man, how do I do this? How do I get my life in such a way that it reflects, that I follow him? It's really this, your ability to love others, your ability to position yourself principally so that you can be used as an instrument to love and encourage others.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, like, caught up. What's next, man? Tell me what's happening.
Yeah. Good question. I don't know. So we're looking. So this year's like, I thought about this year and I've been praying about it. I really want to get more grants. I really want to hire staff because when you have volunteers, it's volunteers. You feel me? So they come. Sometimes they can't.
Right.
So the goal is to hire more staff, our first staff actually, and then also we want to expand, like I told you about the computer lab and things like that. And then we want to be able to get really more involved with, like you were talking about the college piece. There's so many kids that don't have the money, don't have the funding, and they get discouraged. A lot of our kids, they get discouraged, like, man, I don't know, I just can't do it, I don't have the money. I'm like, no, you need to go to school. We need to make sure you're there. And so we want to be able to raise enough funding to make sure that we can at least help pay some of their bills off, and to help make sure that they get down to wherever they want to go. Some of our kids are in California. Some of our kids are in Arkansas. It's just different places, and we want to make sure that they're able to get there and that we're able to support them in their needs. And one of the biggest things is that making sure that they do well in college. Not just get down there. A lot of people, and that's what I'm not good with. Like, I'm not good for the show. I want to see them actually succeed. So everybody say, hey, it's good you get these kids down for college. Well, it'll be good to me when I see them start graduating. Start getting.
That's excellent. You said
Yeah.
so entry. That's good. You said that's the starting
Exactly.
point,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You said see it through, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. So, what are some ways that people could get in touch with you?
Yeah.
Where your social media, your engagement
for
email?
sure.
Yeah. So, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, we're everywhere. We're on Instagram, Caught Up, so it's caught_up. So you can find us on Instagram, and then Facebook. We have a Facebook page, it's Caught Up as well. You can message us on there. Caughtup.org. That's our website. Tell you about all the different programs we do, everything that we have going on. I have a bunch of videos and testimonials over the years on the website. So love the website. And then also we are on Twitter.
Okay.
And I believe Twitter is caught_up as well. So, yeah, definitely find us on social media. A lot of parents, they like to reach out for their kids. I love giving advice. I love talking. I think I'm going to write a book one day. I'm like, I need to write a book.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I need the book. I need the movie.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I need the
It's
Caught Up training manual.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We got to do all that. You're right.
Let's do it. I mean, because you literally, you have the testimonials. You have your own narrative, your story, and how it fits. And here's what I would dare to say, man, is that the thing that makes you effective is you never see a young man that you don't identify a part of yourself in. And I think that's what you connect to. It's like, hey, I see you in me, so I can't give up on you because I see me in you.
And not only that, man, recently I've been thinking about it, like deep and praying about this. It's like how God sees us, You know how many times like we do something wrong and like God still accepts us back, or we do something silly again and God still accepts us. And it's like, I'm turning these kids or like I might be like, man, I can't mess with you no more. You're not focused. But it's like God think of us the same way, like, oh, you're not focused. Like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing what you're supposed to do? And so it's like, man, it's really a blessing, and like seeing like, this is my spiritual life, like this is serious what they're going through and their issues. And so like it makes me like want to help them even more, because I'm like, wow. So they'll get mad, like, man, I'm not coming around no more, man. I'm not, because we play no games. Like, we are very direct, strict. We have expectations, and so a lot of times some of them are like, man, I can't do it, But then they come back because they see like their friends are doing well, and they want to come back and just be a part. They're like, man, I miss out. And so I'm like, yeah, I understand that, and I have no problem with it. At first I'm like, nah, you can't do it. Once you're out, you're out. But now, like, God convicted me, like, no, like, I accept you back. You need to be accepting them
others. Yeah,
so.
That's where that grace and mercy kicks in, right?
Yeah, man.
Because if we were all judged by the law, it would be a wrap.
It'd be done.
It would be a wrap.
Exactly.
And I think that like so many people live with that fear, right? Is that if I do something that is not in Torah in line, like, will I be rejected forever?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
If I that's what when I used to work for another school, one of the 3 big things that they worked on was identity, relevance, and belonging.
Wow.
And so that's all kids want to know. Like, okay, they're trying to discover who they are, how they relate to others, you know.
Exactly.
And so most don't have a model of healthy relationship. And then they want to know, like, do I belong?
Exactly.
Like, no, do I really belong? Yeah. Like, when you see the worst of me, like, do I still belong? Yeah. Like, that love that you expressed to me when we were on the mountain or we were doing well and I was knocking things out, when I'm at my worst, like, do I still belong to you? You know? Yeah. And, man, I think that that's awesome. Yeah. Now, I do want to talk about one thing, man. Okay. I don't see my Caught Up T-shirt. You know, I'm looking for my shirt. You know
I got to get you one.
I got to get the gear. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All right. So you hear it on the drawing board.
The next D's meeting.
Hey, listen, I need to Caught Up T, right?
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, man.
We have a few designs out there.
Yeah, so. Listen, I'm already looking at it. So I'm thinking that I want the long urban body tee.
Yeah.
You know?
I got you.
So listen, you can go on the website right now. Yeah. My strong encouragement, you've heard some of the testimonials. And this is just, we're not even really scratching the surface of all of the work that goes into investing in these young men's life. So I encourage you, I implore you, I challenge you to be a part of this movement, the Caught Up movement. And on Tuesday, today is Tuesday, so Giving Tuesday, let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, exactly. So Giving Tuesday is something actually happened December 3rd. It's like the biggest giving day of the year.
Okay.
But you can always give to Caught Up. But like that's our like, it's like, you know, it's like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday. That's the little new thing, you know. It's a wonderful thing. And we still have it up there because we definitely still need to meet some goals. And like I said, you can always support us, even if you want to give on a monthly basis. You know, if you give $10 or something like that. Because on a like you said, we do a lot of stuff for kids. We feed them in every program. We pick them up. We provide them transportation. And then, so there's a lot of things that we also need funding for. We would definitely love for people to support and give to our program. And then also, like, all the college kids that really hit us up, like, hey, you know, I'm a little hungry today, or I need some things from our dorm.
Cash app me.
Exactly,
right?
I was telling somebody, if I add up all the cash apps per day, it'd be like $200 per day. Like, yo, I had a request, like, man, you know, so we had to slow down a little bit on that. But it's just like, there's always a kid in need, or, you know, that needs support, and we want to be there for them. And that's like our program. You know, kids look at us like father figures, you know, almost. So a lot of times they hit us up for things that they're in need for, and we try to support them as much as we can. You know,
absolutely. So there are a couple of groups of people listening, and there may be some men that are in the community who are saying, you know what, Ebron, Brother Knight, I'm looking for a place where I can come and give back. Like how does that process go when somebody comes and wants to be involved? And they're not boring and they're not just coming to preach, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, this so let me tell you, the Caught Up Mentoring Program is not just for you to come and be a traveling evangelist. All right. So it's not for you to come and get some Instagram pics or Facebook followers. All right. No, this is about a commitment to stay consistent in young people's lives. So for those group of people listening, how do they get involved, man?
It's pretty simple. We do an application, run a few background checks, of course. But overall, like, what we need is, and this is what I tell people, like, just being a part of their lives. It doesn't matter where you come from, like what you know. If a kid see you care about them, you know, they'll respect you, they'll open up to you, and you'll be able to find a way how you can help them navigate through life, right?
Right.
And so we need mentors more than ever. Just being a part, like checking on them in school. If they have that, they'll know, they'll be able to do better. They'll reach for the sky. You'll be surprised just what somebody being in their lives could do. And I'm telling you, I've seen it change. Like one kid, you know, like there's a video that talks about it on Facebook, but he went from all Fs, you know, last year he had all Fs, to all A's, you know. He had all A's the very next report card. It was over the summer, you know, we started working with him. But it was just like, you know, he saw somebody care about him, and then also that we had expectations. And he already could do the work. He just wasn't going to school, wasn't doing certain things. So we made sure that those things were in place, and went from all F's to all A's. Like, what a blessing, you know?
Yeah, so that's got to be part of the book, right?
Exactly,
From all F's to all A's, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so, man, listen, we got to get these testimonials on deck.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing, man, that people are listening to, I can hear them now. They're probably saying, you know, Ebron, my son has to, my nephew, my little cousin, like, he has to be part of the program. How do we get down?
So, and what I'll say to that is I have two things I like. Like, anybody can be a part of the program. Anybody can come, mostly for high school kids, 14 to like 19. We've been expanding to middle school just because catching them early is always good, right? And I tell people all the time, like, make sure like the kid wants to be a part, because I noticed like if they don't want to be a part, it's most likely not their time. You know, sometimes a parent, they'll get a kid, hey, I want my kid to come out, but the kid does not want to be a part. And that's what I was saying. Like, most of the kids that are part of our program, they come because of their friends. They come because people have told them about it. And so parents, like, have that conversation with your kids. Make sure that they want to be a part. You can't be like, oh, they're going to be a part just because I said they are. But because some kids, like, will rebel, and then that's not what we want at the program. Like, we're all about positive energy, love, you know, support, respect, and we don't turn away anybody. That's the biggest thing. But I tell parents, like, just really think about, like, hey, does my child want? And it was something crazy. I was looking at working at the school and giving students options and stuff. So one parent told me about a boot camp, and she was like, the boot camp will not accept the child unless the child agrees to go. Which I'm like, yo, what child's gonna agree to go to boot camp, right? And so, like, you know, we thought about that, and I thought about it, like, you know, I can see why they said that, because they can do all the things they're gonna do, but that child's gonna still have to be willing to change. And so, and of course, like, some children at first are like, no, I don't want to go, and then eventually you see them another few months later, like, you know what, I think it's the best thing for me. And so I say, always have that conversation with your child. Ask them, like, you know, are you ready? Are you looking to be a part of a brotherhood or organization that's going to show you love and care about you? And, you know, and then we'll love to accept them for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. If you can run down your social media again.
Yeah,
because,
for
man,
sure.
listen, this hour has gone fast, brother.
Man,
so
it does go by fast.
so
Like,
we're going to
wow.
definitely have to have you back on.
Yeah.
And next time, man, I would love to have some of your mentees come on, and so
yeah.
we can hear about their experience.
Absolutely.
So here's what
I
I'm
like
doing.
that.
I would allow them, and we'll set up the
Yeah.
date, if they want to commandeer the Drawing Board podcast to talk about, you know, whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and I would yield. I wanted to be a part of the conversation,
Exactly,
but
yeah.
I would yield the floor to just let them talk.
And they always need direction, so you definitely should be a part of it.
So we'll be around, but
Yeah.
like just to be able to hear young men dialogue.
Exactly.
Do you know how many
No.
people yet have never seen that?
Yeah.
Have never seen young African American men
Exactly.
positively dialogue around some key important issues to them. So
sure.
where can they find you at, brother?
Yeah, so definitely check out caughtup.org. Email is info@caughtup.org. Website, I'm not website, but Facebook is Caught Up. Just put in a search bar, Caught Up. You'll be able to find us there. And then Instagram, Caught_up. You'll find us there. Twitter, Caught_up. Same as that as well. We'd love for you to reach out. We always are on social media sharing what we're doing, even on LinkedIn as well. So definitely look us up. And if you want to just request me personally, I promise to have some funny things to say on Facebook. So you can request me on there as well, Tucson Night. So.
All right. So listen, I'd like to thank Tucson for coming out today, man. I appreciate you. Love the work that you're doing, man, with Caught Up and the work you continue to do for Detroit Public Schools Community District. If nobody else have told you, man, salute to you. Appreciate the hard work you're putting in. And as I always say as we finish the show, your future is not behind you. It is not before you. It is within you. And I'm Andre Ebron, the founder and the host of the Drawing Board Podcast. God bless you.